Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. If you've been on the internet recently, you've probably seen some of the stuff that Timothée Chalamet has said about ballet and the opera. Now, personally, I thought this feud started very recently between ballet and Timothée, but this has been going on since the beginning. Let me show you.
I love movies, I love acting, I love going to movies. I was kind of getting scared when I was younger that maybe it was becoming like opera or something, like an outdated art form or something.
I was like, no woe is me thing, but you start working on movies, you start acting and pursuing your thing, and like, I started to get the sense maybe it was like opera or ballet or something. It's kind of like a dying art form.
I grew up backstage at the New York City Ballet. My grandmother danced in the New York City Ballet, my mother danced in the New York City Ballet, my sister danced in the New York City Ballet. I grew up dreaming big backstage at the Coke Theater in New York, you know?
And does that help then in situations like this?
Hugely. I'm like
Like an outdated art form.
And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, you know, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet. I just lost 14 cents in viewership, but
It seems like every other that's like his go-to interview thing. It's just to throw strays at ballet and opera. It's kind of giving.
There can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you and you just need one. There can be 100 people in the room and 99. You can have 100 people in the room.
100 people on the...
You know, 100 people. There can be 100 people. 100 people. 100.
But instead of that, it's just like ballet and opera talk. I see ballet opera. Double finger. But I wanted to take a nuanced approach and look at whether what he said was accurate, essentially. For his initial clip, the one that got everybody throwing their mamas at... Everyone and their mamas throwing shade at Timothée was when he said this.
I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. You know, we got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it, like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, you know, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares.
Now, breaking this down line by line, I think his main concern is that he doesn't want movies to be something that people feel like they're forced to see. And he's saying that people will go to things that they want to go to and shouldn't feel like they have to. Which I think is stupid, because promotion is how you get anyone to get to anything that they'll end up enjoying once they're there. And like, the only reason people already are going to Barbie and Oppenheimer and stuff is because of the reputation of the directors and the fact that Barbie is a huge franchise. But alas, fun fact, I was a ballet dancer. I mean, right now I'm a dancer, but when I was 10, I only did ballet until I was 15. Genuinely one of the worst experiences of my life. Literally, ballet, like, that's a whole other world. I feel like child negligence and abuse laws, I feel like ballet studios just ignore. And if you walk into the studio and you're not single digit weight, then they'll literally like throw you out the window and onto the street. Unless you weigh like 8 or 9 pounds, I would not recommend it. 89. Sorry, I just had to add that. But I wanted to take a nuanced expedition on whether ballet and opera are still popular. I wanted to see whether his comments, like some of them, were valid, or whether he's just BS and like has a weird feud with ballet and opera for no reason. Alright, so according to CBCA, ticketing revenue for ballets exceeded 4.4 million, which is a 33% increase in revenue over the past 6 years. During the same time period, overall attendance increased to 90,000, which is approximately 25% growth. Perhaps even more impressive, the number of annual season subscribers increased nearly 35%. Due to this increase, Colorado Ballet has added a 5th production. As you can see, people are going to more ballets, and the attendance is increasing as well as the revenue. But where exactly is the money coming from? Which productions? According to New York City Ballet, they put on 50 performances of the Nutcracker each year, which is 45% of their total ticket revenue. To me, if like almost most, that's like a but almost most of your revenue is coming from nutcrackers, then are you really staying relevant and with the times if like your new productions aren't getting nearly as many ticket sales? I don't know. Because it says Lauren Wingenroth from Dance Magazine said companies are performing 29% more nutcracker shows than they were in 2008. That's on average 2 extra performances. So it's a good sign that people are attending ballet. It's a little concerning that companies are putting so many of their eggs in one basket by relying so heavily on nutcracker sales for their overall revenue. I feel like the reason people see nutcrackers is because it's so festive and like it's so wide known already that they don't have to do much promotion, because a lot of people, their like yearly tradition is to see the nutcracker during the Christmas time, so they don't really have to try that hard to promote. And according to Ballet West, the 2023 Nutcracker became the highest grossing run in company history for the 3rd time in a row. So this is where I kind of align with Timothy a little bit, because movies, you hear about breakout hits and like how movies like new original concepts are always breaking records, especially in the horror genre and such. But then with ballet, they're relying on this one production, and like anytime they bring anything else new, it's like half of the sales. I mean, 2011 Ballet West Dracula, that was like their most successful newer ballet, and it still got only like half the attendance of the Nutcracker, which means that the ballet industry is lacking a little bit, and that is something that is fair to point out, that they are a little bit stuck in the past and they're not really trying to adapt new approaches to ensure that their viewership is high across the board. Plus, I will say, oh sorry, my chair's noisy. Ballet is extremely underpaid. So for Timothy Chalamet to say that he didn't want to go into a field where it's like really hard, because even at the top, if you're the top ballerina, you're not making even 6 figures. Like, you're still making pretty much minimum wage, especially with all the training. According to Leah Medeiros, professional ballerinas dance for 8+ hours a day for 6 days a week while being seen as incompetent by their company. And then she said that she was on food stamps. Once she got a minimal raise, she was ineligible for those food stamps. And then she goes on to say that dancers are also only employed for part of the year, but are expected to keep their bodies in peak condition during the off season without pay. Jasmine McDonald says that ballet dancers earn a median salary of $14.25 per hour, with a typical salary range of $8 per hour to $30 per hour for the very top percent of earners. In reality, dancers are not paid an hourly wage, but are salaried employees, which means they receive a fixed annual income that may not accurately reflect the hours that they dedicate to training and performances. So like the ballet industry, it is important that we critique the fact that they underpay their dancers and that they rely so heavily on the Nutcracker that they're not even promoting their new performances, and they're not giving their dancers a chance to have livable wages. And I think people, when they're responding to the Timothy thing by being like, oh look how great the life is of a ballet dancer, and like how great it is despite what he's saying, which I'm sure they feel fulfilled in their job because it's their passion, but at the same time they're not being treated right. Obviously Timothy wasn't highlighting that, but I think it's an important conversation topic to also bring up. And also operas. According to Christos Makridis from The Conversation, opera is for the most part stuck in the past. Many companies still depend on a business model that relies on season ticket sales and a small circle of big donors. Few opera companies have embraced strategies the rest of the entertainment industry regularly uses, which is experimentation with digital content, audience data analysis, and engagement through online platforms rather than brochures. And then they go on to say that the number of opera tickets those companies sold fell 21% between 2019 and 2023. Ticket revenue fell 22% over the same period. Meanwhile, opera companies received 19% of their budgets from donations and grants in 2023. So as you can see, opera especially is struggling a lot to stay relevant in this time period, which all comes down to the way that they're promoting and the lack of risks. Why is ballet and opera, why aren't they taking risks with new projects, with new stories that like might lose them money, but in the long term will grow a substantial audience, that are engaging with new stories in other mediums? So when Timothy says, hey, keep this thing alive, even though it's like no one cares about this anymore in regards to opera and ballet, obviously this is completely untrue because people are still going and seeing these things, especially ballets. Like if you look at the Nutcracker, people are still going. It's obviously the tickets are increasing and whatnot, but these art forms are stuck in the past a little bit. And I think it's a good conversation starter to say, yeah, Timothy was disrespectful of these people that put their entire life's work into their passion, even if they're not not getting paid as well. But then when Timothy says he doesn't think people should feel forced to uphold some art form, what he's making is an insane generalization that the people that do go to these operas and these ballets are just doing it because it's seen as prestigious and they want to keep supporting these art forms. Nobody's spending hundreds of dollars just to seem like they are better than other people. Performativism, like, maybe they'll go to one show, but performativeness, they're more likely to just go to an opera and then take a picture outside and then leave. He literally thinks that since he doesn't enjoy these art forms and whenever he goes, he probably isn't like obsessed. That means other people aren't, which is obviously not true. I love watching ballets, even though I was thrown out of a window when I was 10 years old at a ballet studio. Just kidding. But yeah, this is a nuanced conversation because what Timothée Chalamet said was obviously kind of rude. Like, I wouldn't even say that about an art form that only 1,000 people follow, because obviously 1,000 people means that people still care. So I thought that was a very stupid remark. But I also think when people are responding and they're like, oh, but the ballet shows, they're always like sold out, and then the theaters are never sold out for his movies. And it's like, you can literally look at the stats, look at how much the ballet dancers are paid versus him, look at how much viewership his movies get versus the ballet dances, and the fact that the ballet companies can't even survive without a nutcracker. Like, I feel like we should be critiquing these industries a little bit more, and we shouldn't act like they're all innocent, because at the end of the day, the ballet industry is a little bit evil too. So yeah, that's my argument. If you have like other opinions, or you have your own evidence or your own thoughts, write them in the comments below, because I am genuinely interested what everyone has to say. Don't be mean to me, because I low-key, like, I'm just goofing off. But subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, and like this video. Bye!